guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's something down on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Leigh's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. It's okay, I understand. This place is terrifying, and I want to get out of here as soon as possible, too. I know. I should be the one staying calm in this situation. Just give me a second. He closes his eyes and inhales a huge breath, his shirt clinging to his chest as he takes it for several seconds before exhaling in an almost growl-like manner. It doesn't look like he's done yet as he reaches up to grab his choker with his hand, squeezing it even harder than he did the last time, his hand nearly shaking with how tight he's gripping it. I almost consider stopping him before one of the spikes punctures him, but he slowly pulls away, his composure returning as it returns back to his collected self. Okay, what do you remember about this place? What happened in your dream? If I'm being honest, it's hard to remember. I can't remember anything about the first dream other than some very bad feelings. And the second? I just explored that room over there. I point to a very familiar door that I had no interest in investigating again. The page I found was in there, but nothing else. What about the windows? Bedrooms have those, right? I think they're boarded up. I don't remember seeing any way out. I start to feel a sinking feeling in my chest, and I'm not able to place why. Something doesn't feel quite right. Well, it'll be the best to avoid upstairs. I doubt we'll find anything up there. Let's see if there's a back door. Leigh storms off towards a back area of the house that I'm certain I didn't explore in either dream. There's an unfamiliarity with it that makes my stomach sink. I don't want to be here at all, but the thought of exploring it makes me feel even worse. Everything feels different this time. I don't have that sensation of knowing this place anymore. Outside of what I've personally experienced, at least, there's no external influence. It's not just a missing, lingering influence, either. Everything feels slightly different. The world itself looks clear, less like a dream than before. That doesn't do anything to make the pit in my stomach go away. If anything, it makes it grow a little larger. Leigh must have noticed that I haven't been following him along, because he stopped to watch me with concern. He doesn't pressure me to move, but I can see from how tense he is that he wants to. Swallowing my fear, I start following behind him, but he doesn't move. Not even when I'm right behind him. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. This place just gives me the creeps. Me too, kid. Me too. Try to stay with me. We don't know what's going to happen this time. You think something's going to happen? I'm not taking any chances. Last time something like this happened, the whole building tried to cave in on us. I don't want to tell him about what happened last time. I can't even explain it, but it wouldn't do anything to make him more adamant. He takes my silence as an agreement and starts moving ahead. As we're fully past the stairs and we're officially in uncharted territory. There's still photos everywhere, and most of them are still indecipherable, except this time there's a few that are different than the rest. Some of them are turned around, hiding whatever photo is placed in the frame. I look around to see if there's more, but now that I'm searching for them, I notice they're everywhere, hidden amongst all the regular photos. Letting my curiosity get the better of me, I reach out to turn one over, but before I can, a hand suddenly grabs my own. A scream nearly tears it away through my throat, but he's ready for that and places his other hand over my mouth. Heat rushes to my face as I muffle out an apology. After taking a moment to make sure I've calmed down, he pulls himself away from me, putting an awkward amount of distance between us. Shit, I didn't hurt you, right? What? Oh, no, you're good. You just nearly gave me a heart attack. Sorry, I just think we shouldn't touch anything. God knows what will happen if we fuck around with the stuff in here. A tiny part of me wants to argue that we should try to investigate to figure out why this is happening, but it's hard to ignore that he might be right. Last time I was here, and when we were in the hospital, as soon as I messed around with stuff, everything suddenly went crazy. You're right. I shouldn't be messing around. If we find a way out, maybe we can take a quick look, but not until the thing, okay? We need to keep our priorities straight. Do we even know what we're looking for? Whatever an exit looks like. It was a door last time, right? At the hospital? Yeah, Lily noticed something about it and then looked off. She was certain there was something different about it. Keep an eye out then. The back door is still a good start. You okay with that? Yeah, just lead the way. He nods and continues walking up to an open door leading into another room that I can't see. He goes through it and disappears around a corner, leaving me to rush after him. Running around the corner, I nearly trip over a pot that's lying on the floor. I barely managed to step around it without stubbing my toe. I didn't embarrass myself by falling over, for once. As soon as I'm over the initial shock, I'm merely overwhelmed by a horrid smell that has me on the edge of gagging, forcing me to cover my nose before I bring up whatever's in my stomach. The room looks just as messy as the living room and the bedroom were. There's pots and pans scattered across all the surfaces, some of which have been falling onto the floor. Dishes lay unwashed in the sink, stacking up to the point where they look like one single disturbance will tumble them all to the floor. They're all covered in layers of mold, and what I can only assume to be used food. All the cooking utensils look to be in the same condition. Leigh's investigating the windows to see if they're able to open, but it doesn't look like he's having much success. This place is disgusting. He doesn't immediately answer, attempting to get the window open a few more times before giving up with a grunt and turning to face me. Piece of shit didn't take care of himself. Isn't that a little harsh? Maybe they had to leave in a hurry. You don't leave this much of a mess in one meal, Wallace. But you're right, that's a little harsh. I'm sure they never truly got this bad. Huh? Don't worry about it. I think this room is a bust. I saw another room through that door. I think I saw a washing machine. I'm not quite sure how Leigh was able to see it from where he was standing, but he must have taken a peek while I was lagging behind. Wanting to get out of this room as fast as possible, I move over to the door on the opposite side of the room. I expect to hear Leigh walking behind me, but I don't hear any footsteps. Looking back at him, he's facing away from me while staring up at the ceiling. Following where his nose is pointing, I try to see what he's looking at, but it just looks like the same as the rest of this decrepit house. Water time. Alright, y'all, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. His ears keep twitching. I'm about to ask him what he's doing when I take in another breath of this room's scent, and I have to hold back a gag. He'll catch up. I walk through into another room that looks much larger than it feels like it should be. This house doesn't seem expensive. Why is it so big? The question disappears from my mind when I notice something laying on the ground in the middle of the room. Something I'd been expecting to see. Another piece of paper. Must be another entry into Helena's diary. Without a moment's hesitation, I grab the paper off the ground and start heading back to Leigh. I promise not to read these alone, after all. Leigh! I found... I'm barely able to get a few words out before something grabs me from behind, wrapping a hand around my mouth and yanking me back roughly before I can do anything about it. Running on pure panic, I try my hardest to struggle, but the grip they have around my torso and mouth is too strong as they pull me in the direction of the sink filled with dirty dishes. I'm not able to rotate my head on account of the hand holding it in place, but I can still use my eyes to dart around the room. I can't see any sign of Leigh anywhere. Where did he go? Whoever's holding me doesn't make a single sound as I feel him crouch down, forcing me down with him as I creep into the now open cabinet underneath the sink. I'm met with a wave of that awful pungent smell that's even stronger here, sapping me of all my strength as my stomach starts to lurch. When I've been dragged fully inside, the hand around my torso reaches forward to quickly close the door. We're able to close it completely due to it being covered in little open similar to shutters, which allows all the smells of the room to flow in here, continuing to upset my stomach. As the arm pulls away, I'm able to get a good look at the arm of whoever's holding me captive, but it only leaves me more confused as it's very familiar. I spent so much time with him at this point, it would be harder for me to not recognize Leigh's arm, but why is he kidnapping me like this? He's still holding my mouth closed. It's only causing me to panic further when I start to thrash in his arms, only to have him pull me tighter against him to the point where I can feel his breath on my ear. Shh! Be quiet. I'm about to start struggling more when I hear it, and it clicks why he's acting so strange. The sound is barely audible, but I don't need my ears to feel the vibrations coming from the floors. It happens again, only this time, stronger, closer. Now I've completely frozen in Leigh's arms, both of us holding our breaths as we listen to whatever's making that sound. It came from the living room. They're right next to us now. I can feel Leigh's grip on me tightening. It's nearly painful just how hard he's pulling me against him. I'm not able to hold back a whimper, though quickly causes him to let go of me. The relief I feel is instant, but it doesn't help with the fear gripping my heart. Leigh's hands are trembling. Even he's not able to hide just how terrified he is. A chill runs through the two of us as all movement stops and the room grows deadly still. It's here. It trots throughout the entrance to the room. Its steps so powerful they cause all the dishes to rattle above. I push myself back into Leigh, who wraps his arms around me in a protective hug as if he's trying to curl himself around me. It's much more comfortable than painful this time, but I'm not able to enjoy it as I hear something that makes my blood run cold. Alright, coffee's done. A huff of air. Whatever's in here with us is so very close, and it's alive. There was a tiny part of me that hoped it was just a tremor, but that fantasy is crushed the moment a giant pillar stomps down in front of the cabinet. Through the shutter-like gaps in the door, I'm able to see what looks to be a mammal's leg, but it's not like any species I've seen before. Its fur is wild and untamed, and the muscles look closer to a feral beast than a regular person. It isn't helped by the giant claws that can rip through my skin like a razor-sharp blade. I can hear whatever it is sniffing the air and pressing my arms against my side, praying that my muscular genes won't get us killed. But a retch from the creature brings a small sense of relief. It's not immune to this room's rotten smell. Pray it leaves soon, but it makes no motion to leave. It just stands there like it's waiting for us to make a sound. As long as we stay quiet, it should The creature smashes the table, completely shattering the leg as it's crumbling to pieces. The whole room rumbles with the force, and I can feel tears at the edges of my eyes. But I can't afford to move my arms to wipe them away. I just have to deal with the stinging sensation. My heart's racing so hard in my chest I can barely hear the creature rummaging through the debris. I wish I could close my eyes and block it out, but I'm frozen in fear. The angle we're at keeps us almost entirely in the dark, unable to make out anything the creature is doing. We only have sound to go off of, until that stops as well. The whole room is plunged back into silence as the monster seems to find something, and it finally takes a step away from us, allowing me to get a better look at the creature. Just as I dreaded, it's the same creature that we encountered at the hospital. It's gigantic with monstrous proportions as well as feral features closer to a wild beast. But there's still elements of humanity in it that makes bile bubble in my throat. Despite crouching down on all fours, it's clearly primarily bipedal. And its head structure is like that of some kind of rodent or something similar, but it's hard to make out beneath what looks to be a helmet that almost looks to be consuming its head. But that's when I see that it's bent down to inspect. All the blood in my body turns to ice. Right beneath the monster is a piece of Helena's diary I had earlier. I must have dropped it when Leigh snatched me away. The creature brings its humongous head down to it, as if it could read what was written on the page, but then I see what it's really doing. It's sniffing it. Deep inhalations that remind me of an animal hunting its prey. I can feel Leigh stiffening behind me, finally awakening from the trance I've been entrapped in. He doesn't look to be doing much better than me. His body is curled so tightly around me it's hard to see much of myself, and his breathing is so heavy in my ear that I'm surprised it hasn't heard us. But another retching noise from the monster as it spits out a vile green mucus onto the floor, the smell almost bringing the creature into another fit of rage. It clamps its fangs into the paper, holding it between its teeth as it makes a mad dash for the laundry room, breaking the door off the hinges in the process. Neither of us move as we listen to the rampage that takes place in the room next over. It sounds like it's tearing the room to shreds. It becomes hard to tell just how long we've been hiding here as a chorus of destruction continues. Minutes become hard to differentiate from hours. After what feels like an eternity, everything stops. There's no more crashing, no more growling, no more stomping around. It's more like time itself froze. Still, we don't move. Who knows what it might be doing as we wait? It might be prowling, waiting for it to slip up and make a sound. But after waiting even longer, I finally get the courage to whisper. It's barely audible, but in this total silence, it might as well have been a thunderclap. Do you think it's gone? Leigh? Shh. Let me listen. I'm gonna pause it right there, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!